Hello, my dear student. Today we are going to take up a new lesson, that is lesson number 6a. The name of the lesson is Nature, God's Gift. So open to page number 57 and listen very carefully. Let's read. Have you ever seen a river full of garbage, a pond with dirty objects, or a lake with murky water, not suitable for daily use in your town or area? Let's learn something about nature and its precious gift, that is water. Okay, listen. In Manipur, we already seen river and pond water getting polluted because of throwing or dumping unwanted materials. Still now, Loktak Lake is also one of the example. Cleaning process is still going on. And recently, Imphal River, which is one of the most polluted river that most of the people used to talk about. But nowadays, prevention and precautionary measures and continuous cleaning process able to make it clean and clear. Today, we are going to learn about nature precious gift, that is water. Okay, now let's start from point number 1. Nature means God's creation, not man-made. Nature provides us many things, such as mountains, soils, water, plants, animals, the sun, and stars, which we need for our survival. These are the gifts of God. Listen. God's creation is called nature. We receive so many things from the nature. They are mountains, soils, water, plants, animals, the sun, and stars. We need all these things for our survival. So, these things are the gifts of God. So, we must give thanks to God for all these beautiful and wonderful blessings. Let's read point number 2. Water is one of the precious gifts of God. Without water, we would not be able to live. However, we pollute the water bodies by our actions. If we don't protect our water bodies, there will be scarcity of drinking water for the future generations. Listen. As we have learned about so many blessings that we receive from the nature, among all those gifts, water is one of the most precious gifts. Can we live without water? No. Obviously no. We cannot live without water. We must not pollute water. We must protect water for our future generations. Let's read point number 3. Have you ever encountered a problem like this? Even though you are close to a river, a lake, or a pond, you cannot use the water as it is dirty. How do you feel at that time? Okay, listen. Yes. If the water is dirty or polluted, we don't feel like using it because dirty water is bad to use, and dirty water may cause unhealthy or sickness. So, in order to stay healthy, clean water is necessary. So, we all must aware or understand the importance of clean water. Now let's come to the story. Water. Let's read. Brozen's father, Dhanabir, worked in the telecom department. His mother was a teacher. Brozen's family lived happily. However, due to frequent transfers, they could not stay in a particular place for long periods. Okay, my dear student, listen very carefully. The name of Brozen's father is called Dhanavir. Dhanavir is the father of Brozen. Okay, you must clear about this. His father, Dhanavir, worked in the telecom department, and his mother is also a teacher, school teacher. Because of frequent transfer, his family could not stay for long in a particular place. Open to page number 58. Let's read. One day, Brozen went for a walk with his father in Imphal town. When they reached the Nambul River, they saw waste material being dumped into it. This led to a foul smell. Okay, listen. One day, Brozen and his father Dhanavir went for a walking. As soon as they reached the Nambul River, they saw many waste materials floating and scattering, dumping in the river, which led to a foul smell, bad smell. Okay, let's continue reading. Brozen asked his father, "Father, why is the river smelling so bad? Is it from the garbage that is dumped into the river?" Yes, Brozen asked this question to his father. Okay, now let's see. Dhanavir replied. His father replied, "Yes, the foul smell is from the garbage. Foul smell can make us sick." Brozen continued. His son continued to ask to his father. Let's see. Why do people dump waste materials in the river? His father Dhanavir answered, "Most of the rivers in Imphal city are polluted. People dumped their waste in the rivers. In our times, the water in the river was used for drinking. But now, people dumped their household waste, sanitary waste, plastic, and other waste materials from the market and hospitals." Okay, listen very carefully. Brozen asked his father Dhanavir, "Father, why is it so smelly?" Dhanavir replied, It is because of the waste materials which is dumped in the garbage. And then Brozent continued to ask his father, "Father, why do most of the people dump or throw waste materials in the river?" His father Danabi replied, "Most of the people who live in the Imphal Valley throw waste materials in the river. Not only that, waste materials from the hospitals and the markets and plastics were also thrown in the river. Because of these unwanted activities, the Nambul River gets dirty and smelly." Okay, let's continue reading. "If we keep spoiling the rivers, nothing will be left for the future generations," Brozen thought. Okay, listen. Brozen thought himself that future generations will be lost if we continue to spoil the rivers. Okay, look at the books. Let's read. Soon after, Danavi was transferred to a remote village far away from Imphal. It was near a river. Brozen joined a school in the village. The school was located on the other side of the river. Brozen would cross a wooden bridge to get to the school every day. Okay, listen. Now, Brozen's father, Danavi, was transferred to a remote village. Brozen joined a school which is situated at that village, and the school was located on the other side of the river. So, Brozen have to cross a wooden bridge to get to the school daily. Okay, let's continue reading. One day, on his way to school, Brozen saw some women fetching water in their pots. Okay, listen. While Brozen is on his way to school in that village, he saw some women fetching water from the rivers. Open to page number 59 and let's continue reading. As soon as he reached his school, Brozen narrated the whole story to the teacher. He asked, "Sir, is it safe for the villagers to use the river water for drinking?" Okay, listen. When Brozen reached his school, he narrated all his experience he came across while his family were in the Imphal, and so many places he visited. And finally, he asked the teacher, "Sir, is the river water in the village safe for villagers to drink?" Okay, look at the books. At this, the teacher replied with a smile, "The water in the village river is not spoiled. Unlike in Imphal, people in the village do not wash clothes or bathe animals in the river water. They do not dump waste into the river." Brozen asked, "Sir, where do the villagers dump waste?" Okay, listen. The teacher replied, "The river water in the village is safe to drink and to use it for all. Not like Imphal River, but in village river, people do not throw waste materials or plastic. At this, Brozen asks, "Sir, where do the villagers throw or dump waste materials?" Okay, look at the books. The teacher replied, "Every household in the village has a pit for dumping household waste. When it gets decomposed, it can be used as manure." Brozen learned a useful lesson from his teacher. He decided to tell his friends when he returned to Imphal. Okay, listen. Teacher replied, "Every villager has a pit for dumping waste materials. And when the waste is decomposed, they are used as manure." So, Brozen learned a very important lesson from his teacher, and he decided to tell his friends when he returned back to Imphal. Okay, here it comes the end for today's lesson. Now let's come to the exercises. Roman number 1, fill in the blanks. Choose the correct option. Number 1, water is one of the precious gifts of nature. Number 2, dumping waste in the rivers pollutes them. Number 3, most of the rivers are polluted. Number 4, decomposed household waste can be used as manure. Okay, you write it down, this answer. Now let's come to exercises Roman number 2. Answer the following question. Take out your notebook, pencil and eraser. You get ready to write this answer. Question number 1. Where did Brozen's father work? Answer. Brozen's father worked in the telecom department. Question number 2. What did Brozen see near the Nambul River while walking with his father? Answer. Brozen saw waste material being dumped into the river. Question number 3. Why did Danavir tell his son that most of the rivers are polluted? Answer. Because most people dumped their waste material in the river. Now let's come to question number 4. Why was Brozen surprised to see the villagers using water from the river? Answer. Brozen was surprised to see the villagers using water from the river because most of the river he came across was polluted and not safe to use. Now let's come to question number 5. Last question. What did Brozen learn from the teacher? Answer. Brozen learned from the teacher that we must protect the river water. The waste material should dumped in a pit and it can use as manure. Okay, for today, let's finish our class here. Put your attendance in the comment section below. Stay home, Stay safe.